Hey there, this is my last post for the day, and I was wanting to really touch base today on, we talked about auto ship retention, which is the residual income, very important. So we talked about some strategy, we talked about goal setting, why setting your goals big is so important, and then I wanted to finish it up today with talking about your why. And this is something that I know when we do a lot of team trainings, we really talk a lot about and touch on a lot about. I'm sure a lot of you guys have done this before and know the relevance of why talking about people's why is so important. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about my why, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to break down and how to develop a why, okay? Because it's so important. Hey guys, thanks for jumping on. Hey Lindsay, pretty girl. Hey Cody. Okay, so I started this company 2.5, nearly 3 years ago. And when I started, I had a little bitty baby. She was about 6 months old. You can see her right back there. She's hanging out in the back seat. We're waiting for my older girls to get out of their class. And at the time, we were going through one of the worst droughts that Texas, New Mexico, Kansas, Oklahoma had ever seen. It was bad. It was 2014. In fact, a lot of my friends up in New Mexico were struggling so bad, they didn't even have running water. It was tough. The cattle and the horse industry, which is what my husband and I do for a living, was really taking a severe hit because when there's no rain and no grass, people don't run cattle. They were butchering cattle like crazy, and they certainly don't pay for horse trainers to train horses because it's a game, right? And so my husband and I were really struggling. We just had this baby. We'd just moved. We'd gone from having an immensely successful cutting career to everybody across the board was struggling to keep horses even in training. And it had hit us pretty bad, and it was really at that point taking a toll on our marriage. When your finances get hard, it affects your marriage. We just moved and just had a baby, our third daughter, and things were in a tight spot. And I was either looking at going back to college and finishing my degree, because as a lot of you guys know, I'm a beauty school dropout. But that meant putting my little in daycare. At the time I was nursing, and that was something that we really couldn't afford. We couldn't afford full-time nursing or full-time daycare because I was nursing, and any job that I could take to supplement our income So I started looking at alternative ways to really get by and to start, bringing in some sort of income. And I had several things that I did, including a spray tan business that I did part-time on the side that I made pretty good money, a couple $100s a month, nothing, too big. But for the time I spent doing it, it was lucrative because I only spent a few hours a month doing it really too. And then this opportunity was presented to me, and I thought, to be able to stay home with that precious little thing right there and my other two girls, to be able to take some burden off of my husband, to be able to make a car payment or buy groceries was huge. And that heartfelt emotion right there was my initial why. It wasn't the car payment. It wasn't, groceries. My why was to be able to continue to stay home. It was to take some of that pressure off of my husband and help alleviate some of that stress and anxiety off of him. That was my why. Now, the things that were going to help with that were things like car payments, groceries being helped out, things like that. But the why, the thing that still drives me to get up today and work like I do, and to talk to somebody when they're detoxing like crazy and they're flushing everything out of their system, or they've got a niacin flush, or somebody's frustrated and upset because they can't get anybody to buy a kit. I have to go back to my why. And so it's so important that you develop that and that early on, because that is what's going to keep you going day after day to continue to grow and to want to be successful at this. So as I grew in this business, my why also grew, because in the beginning, all I could see was paying a few part-time bills, right? I couldn't see really anything past that. And that was okay. Not everybody who starts out and thinks that they're going to be a platinum executive. I knew that I definitely thought I could, but I don't know if my faith was that deep at that point. You know what I mean? So my why has grown, and as it has, my husband and I have really started to set goals and develop our why together now, and it's been amazing. You know, we see opportunity now like paying off debt, being completely debt free, owning our home free and clear, owning our cattle herd free and clear, you know, being able to put our kids through college without them having to take out expensive student loans, to take family vacations, to do things like that that we would never otherwise do, diversification with our income. You know, having several different things that we do and that we dabble in, so that we're never ever left to where all of our eggs are in one basket again, because we've lived through that, you know? And so as we've grown in this, our why has also grown and progressed. So that's something that you will develop. But something that I really like to spend a lot of time with my new builders on is developing that why. And a lot of people will come straight up and tell me what their why is. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to see my kids off to school every day. I want to be able to help my husband out with the finances. You know, I want to put my kids through college. I know I've got, you know, some people on my team that have several grandkids. They want to help their grandkids go to college. You know, I had a girl one time, I'll never forget it. At a meeting, we were going over our why, and she said she wanted to buy a ranch, and I'm like, well, but you know, get a little deeper than that, girl. And she goes, because she wants her husband to have a place to go retire. She doesn't want her grandkids to have to come over to her house in the city and play on the streets. She wants a place for them to run around at. I'm like, that's your why. And so developing that and helping your new leaders develop that deep-hearted, rooted emotion, that's gonna be what you're going to remind them of when they're having a bad day, when they're frustrated, when they think that they, you know, have hit a wall and can't continue going. You're going to kindly and gently remind them of, you know, time freedom, financial freedom, that pressure off of your husband by helping make the car payment, that extra, you know, bit of money saved back because you don't have to put your little in daycare. Those are the places that you have to be strategic in reminding people about and helping them go back to those places when times get tough. So in the comments in the video, if you've already worked on this and this is something that you know, I want you to drop your why in the comments, because these are powerful. This is, and I'll be telling you the truth, this is what motivates me, is hearing people's whys. I have a couple of guys on my team, not a whole lot of guys, but I'll call him out, Bronk. He's got to be a good friend of mine. And I thought, when I first met him, I thought, oh, he's just going to be all about making money, you know, a typical man. And I'm such a stereotyper, so you'll have to just bear with me. But, you know, want to make that almighty dollar. And I talked to him on the phone and I said, Bronk, what's your why? Why do you want to do this? And he goes, honestly, Krystal, I'm not in this for the money. He goes, yeah, I do want to bring my wife home from work and I want her to get to stay home with us and do what we do. But he's like, I want people to feel as good as I do. He's like, I can't put a price on this. And if I, you know, to be a coach and to get to share this with the world, he's like, that honestly, he's like, I have lost 76 pounds. And he's like, that's all I want to do. I want to be able to help people feel as good as I do. And I thought, you know what, that right there, that's amazing. And I teared up. They say the why that'll make you cry. And it's true. It's so true. So anyways, I'm really excited for you guys to share this. I know we're getting a little bit personal here, but you know what? We have to. If we're going to push for these big goals and we're going to do this together, we need to know what makes you tick. So if you've never shared your why, I want to encourage you to do so right now. I'm excited because I actually have somebody awesome for you guys tomorrow. Miss Nikki Rimple is going to be your coach tomorrow, and I cannot wait to hear what she's got to teach about and talk about. So talk to you guys later. Good night.